Welcome back to Brandon K's show. This is a real show, and I was so happy last week for everybody who watched and sent me awesome messages. Thank you guys so much for that because I got over my nerves a little bit more just by the support that I got back. But we're here today to talk about authenticity and bravery, and I'm here today with my guest, Luis.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast. I'm so happy to be here. I was very surprised that you wanted me on there because I have a lot to share, and I think it's great for you to give me a voice to kind of talk about these things.
Of course, I met Luis at my bar I work at just as someone who was coming to sing karaoke, and we got to talking. And he's a guy who just pushes through the anxiety and the comfort zone. And I saw so much of myself in him that he was there reaching out to me, and we talked about all these different ways that we've pushed through in life.
Yeah, I mean, I was just there with my friend Elaine, and I happened to stop by my first time actually at that bar, and we decided to do karaoke together. Well, first time for karaoke. I'd been there the week before, but yeah, it was nice meeting you. You were really friendly, and I mean, we hit it off pretty quickly. So
And then he was on my Instagram show where we did a Brandon K show right outside the bar. I just asked him about what's your message in life, and he started talking about authenticity, and I'm all about authenticity. So that very much brings us to today to our topic. But the journey with me with authenticity, I'm going to share my story here. Is that even as a in high school, like I was more authentic. I don't
mhm.
know if you experienced that, but like even as a kid, we're probably more authentic. But I used to do stunts, I used to write poetry, but at some point
Mhm.
it became hard to express myself,
Yeah,
like probably with through puberty or probably through rejection or
right.
just life catching up with me. It was like harder and harder, and then all of a sudden I was like a shut down person like by my 20s. So
Yeah, I feel that. I feel like my story is kinda similar in a way, in
so
parts.
like tell me about your high school experience.
Gosh, my high school experience was kinda weird because I actually moved all over Orange County. I went to 4 different high schools technically. So every year I would have to start a new set of friends because I wouldn't be able to, like, drive, like 14 or 15 to go meet up my friends, and it'd be all around Orange County, so not like the next door city. So it was very chaotic. Just like you mentioned, going into my 20s, it left me in a place where I felt more introverted, more staying indoors and not really doing much outside until maybe more recently.
I was thinking about that for myself too, how much moving around made it hard to that's how people socialize and get comfortable and become their authentic self is by having that community.
Mhm.
And when you're moving around all the time like we did, I didn't know that about you, but
Yeah,
when you're moving around you don't get comfortable.
you know.
So I had a similar experience, and yeah, I guess I'll jump to the part where it was hard for me to I wanted to make videos, I wanted to make music, I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to write music and,
Nice.
and be a rock star. But then like when it came time to sing in front of people or share
Mhm.
my story in front of people, it's like, nope. Like
Yeah.
uh this is like I remember taking a singing class in college, and I could sing in the car, but when I was in front of everybody, I like sang in the monotone.
Oh, I
And
see.
that probably still happens. And I was gonna reference your karaoke. You do some Spanish music. You
I
did
was
some
too
you
scared.
did some Spanish music, right?
I did for the first time, I guess, but I'm really scared actually to do karaoke, or was, I should say. And even now going up there on the mic, up there alone because I started with doing it with a friend, which is Elaine. She went up with me and also my ex, like, we went up there together, but then to do it alone, it's kinda like, "Shit, all eyes on you, like, do you sound good enough?" But it was just karaoke, nobody there's professional, everybody's just having a fun time.
Yeah, so it wasn't until like my late 20s where I was like, I gotta push through this. And that's when I started taking improv classes
Mhm,
and pushing through that anxiety. And uh I would, I'd need my Xanax as aid at times, but
mhm.
get through that horrible anxiety. But at the end of the class, I was more comfortable with myself, and I ended up doing two shows. One with my cousin, and well, he was in both of them,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, we did two together. And then after that, I got into Toastmasters, which is that public speaking club.
Yeah,
You heard of that one?
yes.
Did you ever try that one?
No, I haven't tried it. but I know exactly what you're
That
talking
really helps, actually.
I was
Yeah.
at the, and I'll tell you about it.
about.
At the Toastmasters, my first time around, I I was there, I would do the jobs. They give you different jobs to do,
Mhm.
but I was so afraid to do my icebreaker. The icebreaker is when you go up there and you tell people about yourself. And I couldn't
Right.
do what I'm doing now.
Right.
I couldn't be like, and then I went to this school and I went to 4 different schools.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
like I didn't want to tell that story in front of people at that time.
Right.
Was it the same group every time you went? Like, same people?
Yeah, back in 2013, it was the same people, and they were like project managers,
Uh-huh.
project masters, they called themselves. So they felt like so much more official than me and what I was doing with my life. I was like, these guys are like so professional.
Mhm.
But I was into my video making, and I helped them make a video for their group. But I never got up and did my icebreaker until 2018. I came back again, and I finally did some speeches. But it was like a process for me.
So you felt more comfortable at that time?
Yeah, I guess I got to know myself better. I
Mhm.
got sober in 2016. I
Oh.
um I started to make periscopes with my friend Harris
Mhm.
and make more Instagram videos and just get more comfortable with myself while sober.
Yeah.
So then by 2018 I started going to Toastmasters with my friend Olivia, who's going to be on the show soon hopefully. And 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 we encouraged each other to do speeches, and it comes so easy to some people and so hard to other people, and I just felt like it was really hard for me.
And that's a good start. I think, it really is an easy because you never know where do I begin, where do I start, and you had discussed about, like, maybe doing, like, a podcast or bringing up topics that may be able to help others, like, how do I begin this journey of being authentic, or how do I begin doing a certain thing because not everybody knows which way to take. I mean, I wasn't like looking up a guide or anything, but it would have been helpful to kind of maybe look into it. What can help me become more outgoing? What can help me be more authentic to myself, or just put myself out there and not be too focused on I don't just being introverted or not being able to express myself or go out to places without anybody else company. I think it's great to be able to go out on your own without needing anybody else.
How to get out of our head and how to get out of our own way.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. We're just
And
stuck in there.
You guys feel like social media lends itself to being inauthentic? The fact that, you're just sort of there on the screen with other people, you're not actually out being around other people?
yeah, and I have a hashtag authentic content creation,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is okay, I'm gonna go on social media and be myself because there's so much inauthenticity on social media and people are comparing themselves. and
Oh, yeah.
and I heard a good thing today. I was listening to a video on a TED talk, and she said, express, don't try to impress.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So I think that that's part of my hashtag authentic content creation is
that's good.
I'm be the opposite of this is what authenticity is. Be the opposite of what be the opposite and just express yourself
You're right.
entirely what you want to be and not trying to impress other people.
Right. I feel like it's easy to fall into that trap, and when you started talking to me about that, I was like, "Okay, you're doing your own, like, podcast, doing, like, little streams on there on even Instagram." It's like putting yourself out there. I think it's hard. I mean, there's some people it comes easier, I assume, but you're putting yourself out in front of the world for people to can judge you or make, comments or things about you, negativity, or trolls or even just positivity too. But I just mean in general, it's kind of scary for me personally.
Hey, Lewis, as the guest, can you tell us some of the ways in which going on this authenticity journey, how things have changed for you or how things have improved?
Um, for me, I mean, it kind of goes back to like the very beginning, where I kind of began. I mean, I haven't really been doing anything social. I have a Instagram account, but I don't really post stuff on there. So it's like I want to kind of post things without worrying about what people are going to think. Um, and it's not that or maybe I do care what they think. I'm not sure. I kind of ask myself these questions, but it's more like, do I have something to share with the world, or is it just for me personally for me to post things? So I think my story, my journey has been kind of all over the place. Right now, what I'm focusing on though is being true to myself and not letting kind of like outside influences on take effect on what I do on my everyday life. And for me, it's an ongoing thing. I don't think it's ever going to be a journey that finishes, but
Right.
Every day I'll have to remind myself.
And if you're asking about the process, if you're asking about the process, it's for me, it started with just making the first video, getting doing the first live on Periscope with a friend, doing the first improv class, and then I started to take communication in college,
Hmm.
getting through the public speaking classes, working at it every day. Like that's I know you work at it in your own way every day.
Hmm.
And it's like it's a process that takes a long, long time. It took me like 10 years
Wow.
or longer. And then it was like the Periscope was like where my family and friends couldn't see me.
Hmm.
And then it was like now I'm gonna post a little bit on Instagram. Now I'm gonna post a little bit on TikTok again where my friends and family can't see me.
Yeah.
And just getting comfortable and seeing like, okay, yes, there's gonna be people who criticize,
Hmm.
but but like you get your positive feedback
Yeah, you
and
do.
and then that positive feedback back helps build the authenticity. And then I started to really learn that authenticity is the opposite of codependency,
Hmm.
and like
Mm.
codependency is always trying to impress other people,
Yeah.
and it's like I have to be in the solution, I have to be my authentic self, and learning
Hmm.
how to do it more and more and more and more. And so if anybody's out there wondering how they can start a podcast or how they can post their first video, it's just like just push through a little bit at a time, get that first post done and do what talk about pushing out of your comfort zone. Maybe you have some good thoughts on that.
Right. I think comfort zone's a really big one. That I think for me personally, it would have to be. Sounds silly, but I think karaoke was the one that kind of got me out of my comfort zone because
Definitely.
like I said, I'm more introverted, so I would always stay home. I wouldn't go out on the weekends really. Maybe with my friend Elaine. She's been a good friend because I met her at a job back in 2019. But we remained friends, and all I would really go out with is her. We'd go out on the weekends, but I guess kind of codependent, but not really. But I would need her to go to like shopping. Let's go together. Let's go to watch a movie together. But like, why couldn't I do these things on my own? I felt like I kind of needed a friend or somebody to be there. But karaoke was the one that kind of changed it all, really, because that's something that you can absolutely do on your own, and you can do other things as well. But this one kind of puts you on the spot, whereas movies, you're just kind of just enjoying the movie and I guess in silence or in the theater or whatever. But for karaoke, you're up there in front of people that I'm sure all staring at you. I'm not saying they'll think about you by the end of the night, but for that moment, they're watching you, they're
Yep.
hearing you.
Got all the nerves going.
All the nerves, like, I remember the first time I was so nervous, like, I would just stare directly at the screen, and that's it. I wouldn't look, like, around the room because I don't wanna look at people's reactions and what they're thinking, and I don't even know how to sing, so it was just, like, I only did this to get out of my comfort zone, not because, "Oh, I'm really good at singing," or people think I have a good voice. It was just more of to put myself out there.
What song was it?
Oh gosh, my first song that I
Lady
sang.
Gaga.
No, it was actually, well, I'd done, karaoke in Long Beach. That's where I started, and the first song, if I remember right, I think it was "I Will Survive" by
Oh
Gloria
my
Gaynor.
gosh.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
I think
classic for
that's
karaoke.
appropriate for for karaoke, honestly, and so that was a really good one. And then I did, well, that was my first solo one with a friend or my ex. It was the Aladdin song with Jasmine. Was it "Show You the World"? I can show you the
Mm.
world, and
Mm.
I think girls just want to have fun with my friend Elaine because she loved that song.
You're really
So
putting yourself out there with those. Those are really fun, like vibrant songs.
And I
yeah,
imagine the audience, for the most part, they're encouraging, right? I
they're
mean,
encouraging. I like when a place can kind of like root you on and not like put you down or make like booing noises. Because believe it or not, I've been to a bar where they actually did that once. I was like, damn, that's not really such a friendly environment.
yeah.
But it's nice when people are supportive of each other because everybody's just there, and it's not easy. Especially seeing new people now. Every time I go to a karaoke bar, they're going up there. You can tell they're nervous. You can tell they notice when they mess up, but not really like the room notices. So just have a good time, and that to me has been the biggest one so far. Um, but I do want to. I'll eventually talk about a little bit of my past, what
Yeah,
has really happened.
I was gonna say, yeah, along those lines. What tell us all about how other ways you've pushed through and why.
Well, the earliest I can think of was maybe when I was in. Well, I think a good one that maybe some of us can relate to would be dyeing my hair. Um,
Oh,
my dad was very against that. I remember when I told him I want to dye my hair green, he thought, "Oh, you're doing it because you want attention," and that was not the case. I was already a senior by then in high school, And I was basically towards the last month. I'm like, what am I gonna show? People already known me already throughout the entire year. There's nothing to show. But in my dad's head, he thought, you're doing this to like impress somebody. You're doing this to like stand out. And the reality is, I actually wanted my hair dyed since I was like 8 years old. I wanted it green, and I dyed it neon green my first time, and I liked it because it was like a way of expressing yourself. My hair's gonna regrow back. It's not a big deal, but to him it was. And I did it, and he got over it really quickly. I've done it multiple times since then. I've done it green, purple, blue,
He had to buy the
yellow.
dye, right?
No, actually, I got it for myself.
Oh, you bought it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But he still didn't want me doing these things, and my dad has always been that type of person that I mean, he's a great dad. It's just sometimes when I was younger, he would come off of as very like a little bit not. I don't want to say controlling, but like he wants me to not be a certain way.
It,
And
it sounds like as a parent, it's like he was worried that you're just doing it to fit in. Like
yeah,
you could be that way. Like, oh, you're just. And for me, like I would do stunts. I love to do stunts. And it's like, am I doing that just to impress people, or like,
hmm
am I making this podcast just to impress people, or is this what I authentically like to do? But like
yeah,
your dad sounds like he's like, are you trying to impress anybody? That sounds like his first question.
yeah. Which is kind of funny to think that way because less people in high school dye in their hair than I'm sure they do now. And it was like it's not the majority that are doing it. It's very few people actually. And same thing with even just dressing a certain way. Like if I had purple, my dad was like, "Why are you wearing purple?" I'm like, "That's
Mhm.
like a girlish type of color." But to me, it was, and it was just a color. What would I associate it with anything? So I think if anything, I was going against what the normality was. So that was just what I think personally, and I did. I fought through that, and even against my dad's own pressure, I stay true to myself, and I continue to do so to this day. Whenever I do something, and my dad tries to like criticize me, again, he's a good dad. It's just sometimes he can come off a little bit in that way, and I still stick to my guts and just do it anyway,
Yeah.
regardless of what he thinks.
And then any other challenges or any other ways you push through that you want to talk about?
Pushing through.
I know
Hmm.
you told me when we talked at the bar that
Yeah.
you go to like meetup groups, which I think is really cool because there's so
Oh
many people
yeah.
out there who like want to put themselves out there. They want to meet new people, but they're like too afraid. So like, how is that when you go to these meetup groups?
Well, karaoke was the first one. I think that was the starter for last year. It was in 2023, early like in February. And then after that, I remember it was meetups and going to a bar or a club because those are very social places
Hmm.
for the most part, unless you just want to sit in a corner. But for the most part, they're very social places. So for me, meetups was a good one, like you mentioned. I did bring that up, and meetups are a chance for you to meet new people that you have no idea about unless you go with a friend. I mean, these are people that you get to know about, you get to hang out with, you get to have conversations with. And I like that one because it was me talking to people that I don't know anything about. And, we got to know each other. Hey, my name is Luis. I know I live here, I work here, this is what I do. My first meetup was a gaming one, kind of like a gaming board games. So we were just playing board games in a social setting and having fun and kind of having conversations, getting some eat or drink there. And I like that. I got to meet a couple people there that I still talk to this day, and I kind of slowed down on them only because I've been kind of focusing on family and closer friends. But that was a good start because it
And
puts you out of your comfort zone.
and the cool part is you get to choose stuff that you're into. You get to choose. That's another way
hmm
to say authentically is like I'm gonna choose gaming. I'm gonna choose board games. I'm gonna choose because you have every option on Meetup.
Things you enjoy,
Yeah, things you enjoy, and that's a great way to do it.
right? Yeah, you get to pick your own
So you did
group.
video? Did you do video gaming?
Video games and board games.
Yes, awesome.
Those are two good ones. The other one that I went to was like a coffee meetup, going to the bars, going to the beach, going to a club, um, and again board games. Again, it just tied us back to board games, but it was different things that we were doing. It wasn't just one simple thing, and it's so fun because you get to meet people from all over the city, all over your county that you live in, or even outside, and they have their own story to tell too. About I remember talking to a guy, and I'm like, "Oh, what brings you to this meetup?" He's like, "Well, I kind of wanted to adventure out of where I currently live. I don't really go out much." I'm like, "That's me. That's what I was doing." So you kind of relate to people there, starting their own journeys of being more social and interacting with others. So I do like the meetups, and beyond the meetups, I also found bars and clubs to be another place that I enjoy because Like I said, it's social. It's a little bit scary if you're going alone, but after the first couple of tries, just like when you try something new, at first it's kind of hard or you're too nervous about it. But the more you do it, the more you get comfortable, and the more you get comfortable, the more you can do it on your own. So I really encourage those types of places.
I just have so much respect for anybody who does that, and that's why I wanted to bring that here to talk about. We also want to talk to the guy behind the camera about his story a little bit. Before we do that, I'm going to talk about our authentic sponsor today. The Brandon K Show has picked up a sponsor. We are sponsored by Giftiply wrapping paper. So
Awesome.
exciting, huh?
Yeah. Tell me more about it.
Giftiply is eco-friendly, made in America wrapping paper. For every purchase, a 33% donation is made to one of 8 incredible causes, including Alex's Lemonade Stand for childhood cancer, It Gets Better Project, the Best Friends Animal Society, and a bunch of really, really great charities. You can elevate your gift giving throughout the year with Giftiply charity wrapping, wherever where every wrap is a gift to charity.
Awesome.
And use coupon code BK Show at the checkout to save 25% off your entire order.
That's pretty good.
Thank you, Giftiply.
Yeah, thank you. That's great.
That was my first promotion ever. So
Cool.
I'll get better over time.
Congratulations. Yeah.
I'll get better over time. But that felt pretty good.
Yeah, nice.
I'm glad.
And as I said, Solomon agreed to talk a little bit about his authentic journey because it's so interesting to have a place to come to make our podcast.
I know.
Like you were saying,
I was surprised.
Before, you've never heard of a place like this.
No.
Why does somebody choose to do this, and how do they push through all the
How do they
boundaries of pushing against the norm? So, Solomon, would you like to tell us how you did that?
Sure. Well, let's see. I'll do a bigger camera here.
Mhm.
So my journey started. I mean, I used to work for a lot of companies, and I always wanted to work for myself. And so I'm pretty much self-taught with everything. And I started by doing marketing and writing and graphic design, things I taught myself. And I had a decent business going here in this location. And the only problem with that business is when you work with companies and you're by yourself, you're like doing things for companies and then you send stuff out and they send stuff back, but I'm not interacting with the community at all. You're just working with these big companies. And so that was part of it. And it got so bad sometimes that you're in here by yourself and like I would literally like turn on a YouTube channel where they're just playing Starbucks lobby sounds, not music, but like, the sounds of, hey, order up and blah, blah, blah. Just to make it sound like there are people here. And so I got the idea because I would walk around the neighborhood and you meet people and
Mhm.
they obviously have expertise, especially older people. They have things they want to share and they say, I always wanted to start a podcast, but I don't know where to start. I don't know if I need a mic. I don't know what kind of cameras. I don't know anything about it. And so I sort of put those two things together and I said, well, what if I could create a space where people could come and they wouldn't have to know anything? We would take care of all of that stuff for them,
Mhm.
all that stuff. So you can just come in, be who you are, don't focus on the things that you know very well
Mhm.
and not worry about anything else. And so that's how I sort of started putting it together. And so the name Podcast Place came out. A lot of people say, is it Podcast Palace? Is it the Podcast Place? No, I'm thinking Podcast Place like the street, like, Podcast Street, Podcast
Oh, I
Avenue,
see.
something like that, right?
Makes
And so it's a place where you can come and create your creation destination. That was the idea. And I remember I had everything set and right when I was going to launch, COVID hit. And so I wasn't going to
Oh,
do anything after that. So I went through COVID. After I came out of COVID, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, this whole
really?
idea. And keep in mind, I had built the website, everything was ready, right? And I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to do this. And then I got a call one day from
Mhm.
this kid in Moreno Valley, and he said, "Hey, I'm calling to make sure I'm all set for tomorrow." I go, "Set for what?" And he says, "Well, set for the podcast. I scheduled my thing, everything online." I'm like, "What?"
Oh.
So he had just gone sight unseen, gone to the website, saw
Mhm.
everything, and paid for a session, everything.
Wow.
So I go look. Yep, sure enough, he paid. So
Wow.
I was forced to start it at that point. And so I scrambled, got everything together. We put his first podcast out, and I remember the first time I was nervous
Yeah.
because I'm thinking, "Oh my god, I'm going to switch and hit the wrong camera or whatever."
Mhm.
Um, and I did it on Zoom, and Zoom, of course, just crappy resolution and everything because I'm not really thinking about it. And it
Oh.
eventually we got through it. And then after that, everyone after that was just this progression of like, can I get better? What can I do different? And with anything that you're doing, it's about listening to the people who come in, right? So like,
Right.
people say, "Oh, it'd be great if we can do this," or "Is there any way we can do this feature?" Or "Could I have one more person here?" And then your business sort of grows around that.
Mhm.
So there's a huge sense of fulfillment that comes from that. And I have to say, if I compare what I was doing before um, to what this is, and watching people every day come in, just like this is our second episode,
Mhm.
watching you come in and grow and everything, it's a fulfilling thing to see people do, and knowing that you're helping them share their message, share their expertise,
Mhm.
vent sometimes, whatever that is, share their expression, and to share that with the world, and you're a part of that. I mean, it's a very fulfilling thing, so that's why I enjoy it.
And you
Mhm.
filled such a need because there's so many people who want a podcast, like you said, and they're trying to figure out their little home studio, but
Right?
it's so much easier to, get
Yeah, just
someone who
come
has
in.
this all set up, and then I don't have to have this set up at my house.
Yeah.
And.
Right, right. And it's funny, a lot of times people come in and go, "Well, I just want to do it for a while till I can get my own setup." And I'm thinking, why would you even want to like
Mhm.
go through that trouble? Because even when I first tried to do this in a smaller space, it's like you're tearing things down, then you got to set it all back up again, remember where everything was. It's like, why just come to a place like you came in today? Everything's already set up. So
It'll never be this professional at home. Like you'd have to,
no, I
yeah.
mean, because then you got obligations at home, right? It's
Mhm.
like when you say people who work from home, you have to have a certain amount of like discipline to work from home, and
Mhm.
I can tell you, I don't.
Luis works from home.
I
Yeah,
do, but you do need discipline, a lot of
yeah,
it.
yeah, because you're gonna it's easy to go in the fridge, get something, get distracted, everything. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I enjoy it. It's very fulfilling.
Yeah, I like that. I like that you're giving people their place to share their stories because I was like I said, I was so surprised a place like this exists.
Yeah,
And I just heard about it until, Brandon mentioned it. And then coming here and seeing the place, I was like, wow, this is a really great setup. And like you said, you at the end of the day, we're done and then we just go home and we're not taking all this entire setup with us in our
right.
space. We have our own place right now, especially when you're living in a home, whether you're living with your parents or it's like shared space, roommates, or whatever. You don't have room for all of this
Dogs,
equipment.
cats, babies. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Well, you're
Hmm.
doing a great thing for the world and letting people do their authentic, live their authentic self, like you said.
The world of
Hmm.
Long Beach, at least,
The
no,
world of
or the
Long Beach.
South Bay or Southern
That's
California.
right.
And for anybody who wants to do a podcast places in Long Beach, so you can track it down. Solomon's great to work with. You run this whole place yourself, but
Yeah,
that's what's awesome about it.
yeah.
And you're on camera with us. I appreciate that.
And it's
Yeah.
close to OC too. I was like only 18-minute drive. Wasn't that far.
Yeah, I get a lot of people from OC. And it's really cool because I think a lot of times people come, they expect this intimidating experience, some big place, people walking around, everybody knows everything but them. And they come here and my whole goal is make you feel comfortable. And so I can do that one on one, or I can coach, or I can
Right.
encourage and
Now,
all of these things.
now you have experience where you can, because you've seen podcasts now grow
Right.
and see what they've learned, and now you can share that with us. And
Right,
I'm,
exactly. And a
Hmm.
lot of times that happens. Like right now, I produce about 45 shows out of
great.
this.
Wow.
And you're right. If I see something with you and I go, hey, this other podcast does it this way, I think that would help for you. I can pass that advice along.
Mm.
So I'm a podcast expert, even though I don't have a
Oh,
podcast.
Solomon, the
You
podcast
see it all. You
expert.
see it all.
But yeah, I'm blessed.
Yeah. Thank you for having this place.
Yeah.
So with that, we're gonna get to our next topic of bravery. This
Mm.
is the Authenticity and Bravery podcast.
Okay.
And one fun thing that Luis and I did together was we did improv together because I
We
wanted I
did.
wanted to push his limits, and he came to these improv classes in Costa Mesa.
Fun.
The Improv Collective was the one in Costa Mesa.
That was a good one.
Yeah, and he was natural. I mean, it was just like you picked it up fast. You're not like a shy person. It's like you just need somebody to put a camera on you, and then you shine.
Yeah. I think it's what you mentioned. Like you said that the more you think about it, the harder it gets, or just kind of let it go freely because when you do improv, you're not thinking, you're not scripted, you're not any of that. It's all just on the spot. So it's funny you mentioned that I look or sounded like I was like ready for it because in reality it's more of just throwing myself out there, hoping
Mhm.
for the best. and just having fun. And when you let go, that's when you really
And that's
enjoy
what
yourself.
that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna do some improv. It's gonna be awkward, we're here, just us.
It can be
It's
awkward.
Wait,
us
is
at
this
this table?
is this bad improv?
Yeah, this is. It's bad improv. It's bad improv. It's bad improv. Or maybe it's good.
We'll see.
I'm gonna give you three. I'm gonna give you three options.
Okay.
We practiced a little bit in the car just so he knew what they were, but it's the alphabet game, the questions game, or we can do a scene.
Okay. Cool. Alphabet questions or scene.
So fun.
We can. I think I'll pick the alphabet game.
The alphabet game. And now we just need to get a suggestion from the audience to kind of keep us on track. What's a good suggestion from the audience?
Yeah, who's in the audience?
Oh, yeah, I would say that
So great. Just a word. any
ABC
word.
1 2 3.
Any word.
Bat.
Bat?
Yeah, bat.
Like a
Like a
Flying bat?
flying bat or a baseball bat?
or well, we can take it any way that we want to do it.
Yeah, whatever way you can.
Okay.
Oh,
Here
okay.
we go.
And just bat.
A B C D E F G game.
We'll
and
start with A.
I like this. I like the alphabet because all my podcasts are going to be like A B C D E F G. So here we go. And away we go.
Bats is a great topic to talk about.
Can you imagine a world where we were all bats?
Well, I guess D's next, right? So, gosh, this is harder than I thought.
We can cheat.
We can cheat.
Any D.
D. Damn, I think it's such a really hard topic that he picked because I can't think of anything with bats.
How about that?
Even so, you could talk about swinging a bat.
Fair. I guess you can swing a bat, but you can also talk about the ones that fly.
Guess what kind of bat I'm thinking about?
Hell, I really honestly cannot think of anything.
Whoa, I lost the track of the game. What?
I
I am thinking about Batman.
Just because you mentioned Batman, I think I'll mention that I enjoy superheroes and I think they're cool.
Killing is the one thing that Batman won't do in the Dark Knight trilogy.
Mm.
There you go.
H-I-J.
OJ L. Okay, so we're done to L. Lore-wise, I guess he would kill people, but I think he's actually more of a I need to kill somebody because they're bad people and not just because he wants to do it.
Maniacally laughing is my favorite thing Joker does.
No, I think what I think is better is that he fights crime. Or actually the Joker. Actually, no, the Joker's a villain. So, no, I think the Sandman's a much better. Oh, actually, I'm thinking about Spider-Man.
Don't you have to say the word bat?
No.
Do I?
No. We said it a few times. We just have to use the
Oh.
first letter of
Just the first letter.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
going to
okay.
And keep a conversation going.
And I'm on O. And I
Oh.
say, oh my gosh, we're having so much fun.
And then O-P. Particularly, the podcast has been going great so far.
Quit flattering me and Solomon in our podcast endeavors.
Really? You think that's flattery?
Sorta.
Time for us to talk about a different topic.
2 hours later.
Understand that we're gonna get through this soon. I got more planned.
Very well. But what about if we talk about pizza?
Why would we talk about pizza? We're talking about bats only.
X. X is a really hard one.
Yes, it is.
X.
You're on Z now.
Oh, on C.
Now you're an X, right?
No, he said X is a really hard one. That's the
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
And then I
okay.
said yes, it is, and now we're on Z.
Oh.
Zooming through this podcast is What we've been doing.
Zooming through the podcast. We got one more segment about bravery. That was awesome, by the way.
It's more harder than it sounds or looks because you got to think on the spot, and that's what improv is really. And it's a good game.
Improv stresses me out.
It does. No, it is stressful.
It's stressful watching it.
Right?
Yes. I just get stressed out even watching. All right, what's in this
I'd
bag
say that was
here?
bad improv. Huh?
The funny part is there's no downside. Like, we're not gonna die if we get something wrong, but it's still stressful.
Nice.
And now I got
Oh, what do you got?
I got this stuff from Area 15 in Vegas. I said I want to drink these like on my Instagram or on my podcast or something, but then I was like, Luis is here, maybe he'll drink it with me.
All right. I mean, I'm down for anything. You know me.
Not
Like,
coming out that
just
way.
an improv. I was down for this. I'm down to trying this.
I'm gonna let you choose which one you drink. I'll probably try them all, but if we have time,
Okay.
we
Let
got
me see.
Are
Oh my god.
Pickle.
are we able to see these? Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mustard, pickle, butter,
Pickle.
and this one is
Barf? No way. That can't be real.
Barf?
barf. And
I can't believe.
I'll let you know if it tastes like barf or not.
Good thing I'm not a permanent part of this podcast.
We're gonna drink some barf today.
I am excluded from drinking barf.
Do you see flavors? So pickle.
Yeah, they're probably. I
barf,
mean, they could be good.
mustard. I think I can do mustard.
You're gonna try
Like
the
a little-
mustard.
Butter soda?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. How about you do butter and mustard? and I
Okay, I'll
the
do
other
butter and
two?
mustard, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like you have the harder ones.
You're first.
Unless you like pickles. Do you like pickles?
I do like pickles,
Okay.
actually. I'll drink this whole bottle of pickles
Okay.
if it's good.
I'll see how much I can take of this.
Well, just taste it.
Yeah,
first.
yeah, just
Tell us
try
what
with
it tastes
the-
like.
butter soda.
Exactly.
Butter soda.
I bet it's good.
No spitting on the table.
Oh yeah.
No spitting on the
Sorry,
equipment.
Solomon.
hmm Pretty good.
Does it
like if
taste
you're-
like butter?
It's as if you're eating popcorn at the theater, but you're drinking it instead.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not
so
that
it
bad.
tastes like butter
Tastes
soda.
like- mhm.
Wow. You said mustard, right?
Yeah, I'll do mustard next. Thank you. Here it is. Mustard.
That's so great. Sick.
This one's not good.
I like mustard too. Yeah, have some more. Here, I'll
You know what? It's not that bad. I can think of it like seltzer type of thing, but with a little edge at the end, like a.
Do you think you get used to it if you
Sour.
just start drinking more of it?
I'm gonna try it.
It's the aftertaste that isn't good. Trust me. The beginning, you're like, oh, okay, and then you're like, like really bad medicine.
Yeah, there's nothing good about that. It doesn't even taste
No.
like mustard.
No,
It tastes like crap.
try that one. Yeah.
Oh no, you can keep that one if you want.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Pickle.
Get that flavor out.
I got
of my
another.
mouth.
I got one more. I got a hot flavor for you here after this.
You know, I don't like pickles, but I used to.
Pickle challenge.
How's that one?
It tastes like pickle juice. Tastes like pickle juice, but like better. So like,
Are those carbonated, by the way?
Yeah,
They're all
carbonated
carbonated like
sodas,
sodas, huh? Oh, okay.
yeah. I think that makes it a little bit better because I can't imagine without the carbonation. I think I wouldn't probably be.
Yeah,
able to do
yeah.
this. You're just like, oh, soda, no big deal.
I kept them cold for us over the last few weeks.
Okay.
Mm.
But this doesn't taste like exactly like pickle juice. It tastes like pickle soda. So there's
Mm.
probably like some sugar in there or something in there that makes it not taste like just pure pickle juice.
I'm surprised you even had these.
And those came in a pack, like an assorted pack, or
I think you pulled
You
out
had
of the
to
pack.
pick
didn't
one.
I
you?
picked the ones that I thought would be interesting.
oh, okay.
They had more. They had more.
The barf one. Oh my god, I don't even want to see if I can.
I think it's
look at you drink that.
we're doing barf now.
Mm.
I think that this one is like they'll say it tastes like barf, but it's more of a gimmick.
Well, let's see if it smells like barf.
You should have had a can nearby in case for that one. Just take a little bit.
It tastes like soda. Tastes like normal soda.
Alrighty.
The pickle juice. Got
Luck
me.
with that one.
Pickle juice got me a little bit though.
Oh my god.
I was just gonna say no burping on the
Oh,
equipment,
sorry.
but there you go.
Sorry, I didn't think that would affect the equipment. Okay, here we go.
What is
It's
it?
not bad. Taste it.
You want me to taste?
Taste it and just say it's not bad at all.
You're kidding.
It's part of your
No,
script.
it's good. It's actually good. It's like tastes good.
This is good.
Yeah.
They're joking.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a joke bottle, that one.
Yeah, I
like
think it said
grapefruit?
I saw it has like beets in it, but no, it's it says great chunky flavor. Yeah, it's all just
I would drink
all
that.
of these are kind of good.
I think that was the better tasting one out of all of them.
So if you go to Area 15 in
It's a
Vegas,
bar.
these are all actually good. You probably would sit there and sip on these.
Mm.
That's my review.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people like pickles, people like butter, I guess. I don't know about Barf, but it's a really good one.
Bravery. This is Berry Hot Challenge. I found these at the CVS. They are hot gummy bears.
Well, I'm really bad when it comes to spicy food. I would even though I'm Mexican, like I could never eat spicy food at all. I'd always have a separate meal made for me because I can't do spicy. So this will be interesting.
These also taste kind of more sweet than hot. Let's see.
Okay, I'll have one.
Maybe they have an aftertaste.
Okay, here it goes.
Just bite off an arm
Yeah.
or the head or something.
Sweet to begin with.
Yeah, let's go.
I can start to feel a little bit. Yeah, it's starting to feel just a little bit.
A little spice on the tongue.
But you can do it all.
I was thinking, how are they going to make gummy bears hot? Oh, it's getting me.
I put the other thing in my mouth. Fuck.
Yeah, it's getting to me already. If you take the whole thing, it tastes like
No spitting candies out in the studio.
Oh, no, yeah, we got a bag.
I'm just making these rules up as we go, right?
Yeah. I did the one chip challenge. That one messed me up for like several hours.
Oh,
Have you heard of that one?
No.
the
Wait,
hot
which
chip
one?
challenge. It comes with one chip.
One chip. And
Oh,
it's
I know
like,
what you're talking about.
it's
Never
like,
mind, I
this
do.
shouldn't be so bad. And then like my whole day was ruined.
Yeah, we've had one of
It
those.
was
in
tolerable.
You had that in studio?
here. Yeah, we had to change the carpet. It got bad.
What?
Yeah, those are there's
Yeah, yeah.
good. I'm glad people are taking things up a notch
Yeah.
here at the podcast place.
But maybe not on the
were
carpet,
you,
though.
were you mad at him?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't. It was an experience or whatever. So,
Well, now
were,
we
you,
know.
were you laughing?
I was just more like open mouth, sort of like I cannot believe this is happening right
Disbelief.
now. Yeah, it was more like that.
It was not fun. I needed water.
Oh yeah.
I needed water and milk, and I was like, this is a nightmare.
Wow.
It's like as bad as doing chili challenges. I've done those before too, like the hot chili.
Oh, yeah. I can never do those. But these gummies weren't that bad. It's spicy. I wouldn't eat these, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat these.
tolerable.
Berry Hot Challenge. You can now find these at CVS.
Or maybe I'm getting better at my spiciness. Maybe if I ate all of it, I would definitely have a hard time. But one is like, you can do it. If you don't eat spicy like me, you can do it.
Delicious Barf.
Wash it down with some barf. I'll do water for mine.
I drank the pickle already.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much all the time we have.
Yeah.
I want to thank Solomon for keeping us all on track, sharing your story with us. I think people will really enjoy that.
It's a good story.
They watch the
Thanks.
show and they're like, "Oh, I wonder who that." I wonder how he got this all together. And I really appreciate you sharing that with us.
Oh,
No.
you should just tell them you're rich
Thank
and you
you.
bought your own studio
and
and you
here
hired
on out.
an engineer and a six-figure salary.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to thank Luis for joining us and did a really
Thank
great
you.
job of sharing your authentic story. I think people will learn from what you shared today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, there's definitely a lot more than that, but I think those are really good points that I talked about because they did help me. And thank you as well for having me on here and letting me open up to the world what I have to say. Thank you.
And you're a good sport for doing that. You're part of the Brandon K Show family, and
Thanks.
I want to say next week I'm gonna try to have the Beatles best bangers. I'm gonna try to come in here with some guitars and sing Beatles music,
Oh, I want to see that.
Oh boy.
and that's more me getting into my authentic self and seeing how it goes and talk about our favorite Beatles songs. And other than that, you can find this on YouTube and on anywhere podcasts are found, as well as check out my Instagram on Brandon K Show. Check out my TikTok Brandon K Show and check out Giftiply wrapping paper, giftiply.com. Use the promo code BK Show for a 25% discount. Thank you again, Giftiply. It's so awesome.
Thank you.
We're gonna try to have those guys in here in a couple weeks. My cousin and his partner were interview them about how Giftiply all got started and everything. And that's all the time we have. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining us.
Thank you.